My wife and I have recently found out that because of our family lines, we are eligible for Italian citizenship. We very much love Italy and often dream of owning a vacation home there someday to live for part of the year. I'm wondering, do you know of any financial reasons why we should be careful in applying for Italian citizenship? We would, of course, not be renouncing our U.S. citizenship by doing this. I am an employed physician, and my wife and I both have sole proprietor side gigs. Otherwise, our financial situation is essentially exactly as you have prescribed since I started following your writing around 2012. Would there be any issues with our life or disability insurance policies? Any implications on my ability to come back to the U.S. to practice medicine for part of the year? Any implications on drawing down investment accounts after retirement while overseas? Anything else that we should think about before going through with this? Thanks so much for your time and your help.
Okay, I love Italy too. I'm not an expert on Italian law, but there's a few things you need to be aware of when you go for dual citizenship. Dual citizens enjoy a lot of benefits, right? You have the ability to live and work freely in two countries. You can own property in both countries. You can travel through them with relatively ease, but there are some drawbacks. It can be long and expensive to get that dual citizenship. You are now bound by the laws of two nations. And that can be tricky. It's like military people that are under the UCMJ, the Uniform Code of Military Justice. All of a sudden, now you're bound by two sets of laws. But perhaps the most significant one, at least while we're talking about finances, this is a financial podcast, the most significant one is the potential for double taxation. You don't want to have to pay taxes on all your income in the U.S. and pay taxes on all your income in Italy. Now, the U.S. has tax treaties with a lot of countries, and I don't pretend to be an expert in these, but in general, the United States imposes taxes on its citizens for income earned anywhere in the world. So you don't want to end up having to pay taxes in both places. So you want to know about these treaties. Now, the U.S.-Italy tax treaties are from 1984 and 1999. You can find them on irs.gov with a simple Google search. Just Google U.S.-Italy tax treaties and they'll pop right up. But they're about 300 pages long, and they're all totally written in legalese. You probably ought to, at a minimum, skim through these before taking up dual citizenship, especially if you're planning on having any income in Italy. But honestly, if you're in this situation, I think it is worth paying for formal advice on this before purchasing as substantial as another home, especially before doing any paid work in Italy. I think you really need to understand how those tax laws are going to apply to you. And I think you probably need an attorney that specializes not just in, foreign tax law, but frankly, U.S.-Italy tax law. And I don't know where you find one. I suspect if you Google it, you can probably find one. Might be based out of New York City, I would guess. But that's where I would start. And I would get formal advice before I even became a dual citizen to know how that is going to affect your particular assets and your plans going forward. If you want your questions answered by the White Coat Investor, record your question at whitecoatinvestor.com/YQA or click the link in the description.